Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Gaming with me, Tony Mo, and we're here today to talk a little bit about Titanfall 2 and the Xbox One X. More specifically, Titanfall 2 running on my Xbox One X. How could I not do this video? I know that Digital Foundry's done a video. They showed off a bunch of the campaign footage, and if you haven't already seen the Digital Foundry video, I strongly recommend you go check it out. They're going to talk more about the numbers side of things. Let me just cut to the chase here before we get further into this video. The Xbox One X version of Titanfall 2 is massively improved over the original Xbox One version. The level of clarity and detail, the texture resolution that we're getting here on the Xbox One X version is staggering. It definitely carries into the multiplayer, as I'm going to show you guys today. The thing is, it's not the best version that it can possibly be, considering the powerhouse that the Xbox One actually is. Now, Respawn has acknowledged this. Drew McCoy managed to catch him over on Twitter talking to some people, has been looking into the issue for the last few days, and hopefully they'll have some news for us very soon. Basically, this version of the game, at least when it came to the campaign and testing for Digital Foundry, is running very close to the PlayStation 4 Pro version, which is still very impressive. Both of these versions are a substantial upgrade over the original versions of the game on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now, having played the PC version of Titanfall 2 on Ultra at 60 FPS for a very long time, I was definitely looking forward to booting this up and just seeing if the wow factor sort of punched me right in the face, like one of those crazy stim users, right? Just popped out of nowhere, boop, meleeed me from 20 feet away, typical Titanfall 2 fashion. As it turns out, it actually did. And I want to make it very clear that the footage you're seeing is on a 1080p display, recorded in 1080p, and then upscaled to 1440p in Premiere, as that's how I render out all of my videos. It is still a very noticeable improvement. Just sitting at the multiplayer menu and taking a look at your pilot with your Titan sitting in the background is far clearer than anything you'll have seen on the original PlayStation 4 and Xbox One version. Much closer to the PC version because the resolution here has been improved massively. We're talking 4K with some dynamic super sampling stuff going on throughout the experience. Now, again, I have no idea how the multiplayer is working with all of this. Digital Foundry only commented on the single player experience, but I can tell you and show you in footage here that the multiplayer version definitely looks much, much better. Now, what the actual resolutions are, I have no idea. What are the frame rates like? I have no idea. I don't have a way to test these things, but I will say in my experience, having played a lot of this game, that the game definitely seems to run smoother on maps where high FOV, like the one I'm using in this footage, 110, typically would struggle. Colony is a great example of this, and Angel City. These are maps, especially in modes like Bounty Hunt and even Frontier Defense, that can start to have a lot of frame rate drops. You notice them, especially at high FOV. They've been an issue since Angel City came into the map and since Colony came into the multiplayer experience, but they seem to be ironed out and much smoother running on the Xbox One X version. So no doubt that some of that horsepower is being used to keep that frame rate closer to 60 more of the time. The number one thing that I always notice, and that most people notice when they go from the PC version of the game running very high to a console version of the game, is that things are just a bit more blurry, right? It's just a bit more blurry. It's the same thing with Destiny 2. You go from Destiny 2 on PC to Destiny 2 on Xbox One or PlayStation 4. Things are just a little bit more blurry. You don't have that same level of anti-aliasing available. Now you do with the Xbox One X. It's not blurry at all, man. It's a really impressive experience. Now that's all I really have to say about Titanfall 2. I'm super stoked to have this version of the game running on my Xbox One X, especially considering there's not many people left playing the game on PC, and the time zones that I play in, I'm pretty much stuck playing on Xbox One, even if I did want to play on PC. So having the visual improvements, having the frame rate improvements is a very, very welcome thing indeed. Now, I'm going to talk a lot more about the Xbox One X in a separate video, but I do want to point out just how impressive my early experience with this thing has been. Take the idea of buying a $500 graphics card, of which there aren't really any as powerful as the results you're going to get from the Xbox One X. So let's pretend you had to buy a 1070. That's about a $600 to $700 graphics card, depending on where you find it and the type of card you go with. You then took that card, except it only costed you $500 somehow, and you shoved it inside of your Xbox One. The result of that was your Xbox One getting much smaller, much quieter, and completely modifying its form factor. It then all of a sudden had a 1 terabyte hard drive, and it also had a much faster CPU, with faster memory and with faster loading times. That's basically what you get when you buy an Xbox One X. It does everything a very high-end PC is going to do. That is, you know, 6 to 7 times the size of it, and it does it really well. A lot of these games are running at 4K 60 FPS and looking amazing. Now, there's a bunch of games that got day one patches. Ghost Recon's Wildlands, that's running far smoother, looks much better. But there are also games that are just benefiting from the raw horsepower of the Xbox One X. The loading times, for example, on GTA Online have been cut in more than half, like 1.5 times faster. And dare I say, in my experience, having played a lot of GTA Online, the frame rate definitely seems smoother. Like, it's way closer to that 30, and who knows, maybe even going above it. I'm not sure if Rockstar ever put a cap on that. That's something I'd love to see somebody test. But driving in GTA Online previously always would give me a headache long term, you know? It just didn't feel like it ever stayed at 30. I booted it up last night on the Xbox One X. Super fast loading time was a surprise, and then things just felt smoother, man. It was really incredible. There are also a lot of just old games that have been optimized. Skate 3, for example, has like a 9 times resolution boost. It really does look like a remaster, in my opinion. The frame rate has been smoothed out in a lot of areas where it would previously tank. The list of games that have day one patches is pretty big, but the list of games that just kind of run better on the Xbox One X without a patch is even more impressive. It's that sort of thing that really has me blown away with this hardware and has me really excited for the future of things like it and the PlayStation 4 Pro. I mean, imagine a world where we buy platforms like this. They're available alongside of PCs, of course, for people who aren't interested in a PC, who want a smaller form factor, who want something that is really hardcore and streamlined and optimized. The benefits that a developer gets from developing on that single platform that has all of the peripheral options that a PC has. So let's do away with the whole, oh, consoles only use controllers and PCs can use whatever the hell they want, and let all of the platforms use whatever the hell they want. If I could boot up Titanfall 2 tomorrow on my Xbox One X and plug in my mouse and keyboard and play it flawlessly, that would be the dream, ladies and gentlemen. That would mean that I could play with my friends who only can afford a $500 console and who only buy a new console maybe, you know, 6, 7, 8 years or whatever they do. They hold on to it. I could play with them. I could have the games look pretty damn incredible, and I can play with my mouse and keyboard, and then I can go back to playing my PC games when I want to, and I can go back to tinkering with my PC and, you know, making it faster and improving it every single year, while my other platform sits there staying well optimized and giving developers a platform that is consistent, that they can develop on again and again and again. I mean, that seems to be the route we're going, and that's why I was so gung-ho about supporting this, even without a 4K television currently in my possession. I knew I'd get improvements in frame rate and texture resolution, even if they were being downscaled to 1080p from 4K, and I do not regret that decision at all. I want to thank Michelle, my awesome girlfriend, for, I pretty much was about to cancel my pre-order, actually, and she said, well, you know, what if I got it for your birthday and for Christmas? And that's exactly what went down, so thanks a lot to her for, helping me stick to my word on getting this thing. And I think it was definitely worth it in the end. And, you know, for the future, the thing that's really exciting is the idea of developers now knowing the potential of the X, like being able to see the numbers, see the power for both the Pro as well, for the Pro and the X, and being able to develop for that. Because right now, all these patches are for games that, in a lot of instances, used as much of the tech as possible. You know, developers never planned to make the game run for anything faster than what the Xbox One, what the PlayStation 4 could handle. Now the Pro and the Xbox One X, they sort of raise that boundary, right? They raise that ceiling, and developers can say, well, actually, we've got a lot of back end. You know, we can make a version of the game that has a better frame rate, you know, that has way higher texture resolution. I know in the short term, and I even talked about this, everybody's going to be really concerned about, well, if this person's playing at 60 and this person's playing at 30, but just imagine a deeper future where these two platforms are kind of the mainstream, you know, where we're not so worried about the old console. We're definitely going to get to a point like that, I think. So who knows? There's a lot more I want to say about this thing moving in the future. We'll definitely spend some time talking about it down the road, but feel free to let me know your thoughts on the Titanfall 2 Xbox One X version. Did you guys notice any difference? And if you have any other questions, feel free to drop them down in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, remember to play smart, remember to challenge yourself, but most importantly, remember to play for fun.